What if I told you that your emotions, not your thoughts, are in control of your decisions? One neuroscientist proved it, and his work changed how we understand the mind. His name, Antonio Damasio, you might have heard his name before, but if you don't know much about him, let me tell you, this man is a legend. He is a Portuguese-American neuroscientist, born in Lisbon in 1944, and today he is a professor at the University of Southern California. He is a Portuguese-American neuroscientist, born in Lisbon in 1944, and today he is a professor at the University of Southern California. But the discovery that made him famous started with one unusual patient. His name was Elliot. This was known as the case of Elliot. Elliot was intelligent, articulate, and successful, but one day he began having seizures. Doctors diagnosed him with a large frontal lobe tumor, and the only option was to remove it. But he was no longer the same when it came to making decisions. Doctors observed that he could logically list the pros and cons of each option, but he could not decide between them. He would spend hours deliberating about which pen to use, or which tie to wear, or how to organize his papers. And he never came up with a decision that his doctors deemed as obviously wrong. He was on choosing the most efficient route to work, because he could unweigh the value of time against the stress of traffic or the cost of gas. He just couldn't decide, and this inability to prioritize and make decisions effectively caused him to lose his job and to make generally poor life choices. Despite the fact that he was still a smart guy, his personal life began to fall apart. Upon meeting Elliot, neuroscientist Antonio Damasio concluded that the damage done to Elliot's brain disconnected the areas responsible for rational decision-making from the areas responsible for processing emotions. Without the ability to feel the appropriate physical response to a situation, all choices seemed equally valid. There was no internal push to pick one option and reject the others. Damasio dubbed this finding the somatic marker hypothesis, the idea that emotions act as somatic markers or signals that the brain uses to quickly assign value to options and make decisions. Without those emotional and physical signposts, navigating life becomes exhausting, if not impossible. Antonio Damasio developed the idea called the somatic marker hypothesis. He thinks that our bodies store these markers, these emotional signals from past experiences that tell us how to behave in the future. Like literally, your gut feeling is your body's way of telling your brain, we've been here before. It didn't end well, so you should probably do something different this time. And this led Damasio to tackle one of the biggest questions in science, which is, what is consciousness? How does the brain create the experience of awareness? Because if we can understand how that works, then maybe we can understand what it means to be human. What is consciousness? For Damasio, consciousness isn't just thinking, it's the feeling of being you. It emerges when the brain maps not only the world around you, but also the body experiencing it. This is a crucial point. We often think of the mind and body as separate things, but for Damasio, they're linked together by feelings. Our sense of self, our ego, if you will, is bound to our body through these feelings, and without them, we wouldn't be conscious of ourselves as individuals experiencing the world. So what does this mean for our understanding of consciousness? It means that we need to study the brain and body together, not separately. We need to understand how they interact and influence each other in order to understand consciousness. This is a new way of looking at an old problem, and it's one that I think has a lot of potential. If we can understand how the brain and body work together to produce consciousness, then maybe we can also understand how to repair a broken mind. Because a broken mind is not just a brain that's not working right. It's a brain and body that are not working together properly. And that's something that we can fix. We are not thinking machines that feel. We are feeling machines that think. Without emotion, reason falls apart. This is the work of Antonio Damasio.